I had different plans for the garden this morning. I was going to come out here, harvest, which I'm still going to do, but I was also going to plant some basil. I bought some already living basil from the grocery store, and I wanted to plant that, even though it may be too hot. But when I'm out here in the garden looking over things, my suspicions became reality. The other day I was out here and I saw what looked like tomato worm poop, hornworm poop, but I couldn't actually find the worm itself. Today I found 3 of them. So they are very, very good at disguising themselves. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull them off the plants. The chickens will absolutely love them. To be honest, they kind of creep me out a little bit. They're really weird. They're beautiful, but they're weird. So I'm gonna pull them off, and then once I get them pulled off, I will show you signs or potential signs that maybe you have tomato worms in the garden as well. And they don't just stick to tomatoes. The first one that I saw is on my pepper plant, and actually he is right now chomping down on my pepper. There he is in all his creepiness. So I'm gonna pull that one off, and then I don't know if you can see, but I have another one on that tomato and then on that tomato plant over there. And I don't actually want to touch this thing because when they grip onto, I'm not going to cut him, but when they grip onto the plant, they have a pretty darn tight grip. Look at, he's like, is he trying to bite me? But like, look at that. He's got a grip on that stem. And I think he's making noises. Yeah. Oh yeah, he's totally like biting the scissors. Weird. Ugh. Okay. Gross. I'm gonna get the other 2, and then these will go to the chickens. See how they've got a horn looking thing on them? No, thank you. Okay, so I want to show you what it looks like, or some signs to look out for that may look like you have tomato worms or horned worms or whatever you call them. The first very noticeable sign from a distance would be this right here. So I actually found the tomato, one of the smaller tomato worms right here eating this tomato. But this whole entire stem right here is eaten everything on it except for the hard part of the stems. Now this is not to be mistaken with something like, let's see, like this, because this actually is where I've harvested tomatoes from. As you can see, everything else, of course, not there, but everything else is still intact. So those are areas like this that I've harvested ripe tomatoes from. The second telltale sign would be getting in a little bit closer to where you're actually seeing damage, or just the plant that has damage alone. And that would be the poop itself. Now I'm gonna try and find some poop, but I may have knocked it off of there when I was pulling off the worms. So let me see if I can find some. And I just found a half munched on jalapeno. Oh, and another one. So this little black pebbly looking thing right there is the poop. And if you have that, I probably have some more on the other plants, then that's probably a very good indication. That is a very good indication that you have the tomato worm. And from that point, you need to get into the plants and find them, because like I said, they are very hard to find, but once you find it, you don't stop seeing it. Like, it's easy to come back to and find. The hard part is actually finding it. And I noticed on that pepper plant that there was a problem, because you can see here, these are little snips right here, and I bet you there was actually those peppers there. Where there is 3, there's probably 10. So I'm gonna get in here and just start cleaning up all of these plants, and as I'm cleaning them up, I'm going to inspect them as well to see if I can find any more tomato hornworms. And while I'm going along, I'm gonna just start harvesting things that need to be harvested. Guys, I love these Sun Gold tomatoes, but the plants are just not doing very well. So I'm gonna come in and harvest most of these, cut off anything that's dead, let it continue to do what it's got to do, and then these won't be in here for very much longer. It is like the heat of the summer, and it's just really hot. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but they are very good. This bunch of tomatoes right here I'm going to leave, because I actually want to harvest those to save the seeds for next year. And a lot of the other ones that I'm leaving on here just aren't quite ready to be picked. So I'm going to come through and just clean up all this dead stuff or anything that's dying. There's no need for it. And just get this nice and clean. And maybe she will continue to put on tomatoes. I don't know. Now, I don't know about you, but I am not happy with the way my squash plants are performing this year. This one right here is a big squash plant, so I need to get in here and cut off some of the older leaves, because the flowers I'm seeing are kind of hidden underneath all of this mess. And I don't know how easy it is for the bees to kind of get in there and see what's going on. And also, this one right here, I think a majority of my squash plants, I've gotten maybe 1 or 2 squash off them. So I'm not sure what's going on. But I guess first things first is just kind of coming in and cleaning up underneath and giving them some airflow, because I am seeing signs of unpollinated fruit, which basically that's it right there. It starts to develop and then it just starts to shrivel and die. So that's a problem. I am going to clean up this squash, and I'm going to start just sort of at the base and work my way out. Anything that's got damage or disease, I'm just going to sort of get rid of. These things are spiky. I don't know how else to keep the tomato worms out of the garden unless you just pick them off. If you have any suggestions or ideas about how to keep them away, I'd love to hear them. Because I don't know. And I know that now that they're already in there, it's just gonna get progressively worse, and I'm just gonna have to keep plucking them off the plant. And I don't wanna do that. So it's already getting very warm out here, so I am going to take my tomato haul and bring this stuff inside, lay some of the not so ripe ones out on the counter so they can continue to ripen. And then these are gonna go into the freezer because I am saving them to make pasta sauce. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. Again, if you have any suggestions as far as the tomato hornworm is concerned, I would love to hear about it. And I hope that you get out there and garden. See you next time. Bye.